We are live. I just trying to pull something up real quick. Hold on. This is for the keys are making noise. Hold on, I gotta find the video. Okay, here it is. In the words of the great Dallas Soup. Let's get it started, shall we? I've rubbed it. I gotta play that. I gotta play that. Those guys are hilarious on YouTube. The Goons. Um, That's not what we're talking about. Welcome back. This is stream number 2 of the new year, Western Star Movie Reviews. I'm your host, HJW Hunter West. Be sure to like the stream, comment on the stream if you're tuning in or not. Let me get any word on what you're doing. Also, really appreciate it. Subscribing to the Iona WICR. Obviously, by the title, I have seen almost every single January movie that I needed to see. There's two more that I missed, but I think I wanted to do a ranking video of them now. Just to get things out of the way because it's the new month. It's been the new month for about 2 weeks now. Should have done that before. But today, also, we're going to be talking about my most anticipated through the rest of the year. And yeah, kind of just like, skip through what's to look forward to in 2023, all that kind of stuff. So if you're ready, I'm ready. We're going to be ranking first January 2022 movies, which apparently probably none of you have seen except for probably one movie that's very popular, that's already one of the most popular movies at the box office right now. But there's also a lot of movies that are coming out the next now, like next week is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and then every other week is gonna have like a big release. So we're getting in that area of new releases are coming out. Things are gonna get crazy. It's gonna be a fun year, and yeah, I'm really excited for it. So make sure you guys, tune in. Make sure you stay because we're gonna have a lot of fun. So let's first get into the January movies. So for those of you who aren't aware, January is normally the toilet bowl of movies where films come to die, they rest in peace. And this month has been one of the most surprising months of the year. I think this has been to critics. A lot of critics have been giving movies passes. Like some movies that I thought were not going to be good ended up being great for critics, and movies that I expected to not be good turned out better. Some movies that I thought would be decent turned out to be not so good, and some movies that I thought looked stupid turned out to be worse. So let's talk about those. And there's only 6 movies. The 2 movies that are missing from the list are The Pale Blue Eye, which is a Netflix movie starring Christian Bale as this detective. Um, it's on Netflix right now. I might stream it tonight when I go to my dad's. Also, You People, which is a comedy. Again, I just want to get all these movies out of the way, to get more, maybe give you 5 reviews for next week or maybe 6, depending on my schedule now, because I have this dog I gotta babysit, which is a nightmare. It's not a nightmare. I just whatever. So yeah, this is all right. So let's get started. 6 movies, and it was really interesting because there's only one movie that I really like praise. I would say praise a lot, and then there's one movie I hate. So let's get started with best and the worst to the best of January 2023. In last place, Fear. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of this movie, which probably a lot of people aren't, this is a movie that is a film that's directed by a man called Dion Taylor, and he has directed 2 movies that I have heard from. One of them was The Intruder with Dennis Quaid and Michael Ealy, which was a home invasion movie. Wasn't that good. I didn't see it, but I heard it got terrible reviews. And the other one was this Meet the Blacks parody, which was kind of like a Purge parody on itself with Mike Epps, and apparently also it wasn't really good. So this guy like does movies that are just out of nowhere and you're like, I don't know. And I didn't know this movie was coming out until I saw the trailer for it when I went to see House Party, which we'll talk about on the ranking. And I said to myself, it's a horror movie that is pretty much like Fear in a way. And I saw that at the end of the trailer they said it's coming out January 27th, and I saw House Party, I believe January 22nd. So like 5 days before the actual movie comes out, I'm watching a trailer for this that movie comes out in a week. Apparently, I look up on the website and the trailer was posted in November. So this trailer's been out for 2 months now. And so this movie, the concept of Fear is about that this group of friends, they celebrate somebody's birthday, somebody's excitement, and they go by the campfire and they kind of tell like each other like what's your scariest fear that you have. And they go around, and then the hotel is apparently like a place for witchcraft. And so all the fears that they've been, hearing about or been seeing or been talking about, they eventually come to haunt them. And I said that the concept alone, it's good. Like it's a concept that we've seen multiple times. But this movie is atrocious. I mean, every single scene is literally just like, just elongated scene to develop character development. And what I mean by that is that the movie doesn't really get going until like the last third of the film. Like the first 2 acts of the movie are dreadfully awful and boring. They're not offering any good, I would say, relationship. Like they're not giving off any good vibes. The characters are unlikable. The acting is not good, and this is a cast that I have seen them act before. Like I've seen one of the women was in Happy Death Day, and obviously Ti is in the Ant Man movies. But when it comes to this movie, all of them are unlikable. They're kind of annoying, and they don't really do anything, and they all just, like, I didn't really care about the characters. I just wanted them all to die in a way, which sounds really messed up, but well, what are you gonna do? And then the actual, like, so the first 2 acts of the movie, they don't work. Like, they're slow, there's nothing, there's this weird subplot with, like, a virus that's airborne, and then the movie kind of picks up, like, at the end of the film where it's like all these fears are coming to life and they start killing people. But even that, it's like it's awful because it's a rated R film, and I talked about this with Firestarter when I did the worst movies, and I think I did it in my review of Firestarter, like, months ago, is that it's an R-rated movie that's shot and edited to look like a PG-13 film. Like, you see, like, the aftermath of, like, the blood and the guts, blood and, the deaths, but it's all done in, like, "Oh, net snaps. Oh, somebody stabbed themselves. Oh, somebody slit their throat." It's like you don't get to see it, but you do get a horrible CGI monster demon ghost that honestly looks like it was made for TV. And also some of the weird choices that happen in this movie, like there's one guy who's sick in the film and he's locked up in his like hotel room. And his friends are like, "Lou's sick. Let's bring him to the basement and and then we can just like, live our lives," because it's not like he was kept in in his room protected and locked in, but the movie is trying to say no because this is what's happening, but the way it's made, the way it's told, the way it's shot, it's just terrible. This is a movie that you can tell is made on a cheap budget with cheap effects in a location, and I didn't know this, but apparently the film, it was shot during COVID. Like, apparently, it was said on the Wikipedia that the movie was filmed in August of 2020. So picture that in August of 2020, This movie was being made, and they have a COVID subplot where it's like a virus. Oh no, we have to put on the mask. It's like, no. And part of me wants to spoil the movie, but I really don't. But I kind of want to. So and this isn't really a spoiler. This is something I noticed from a reviewer who reviewed the movie on YouTube, and he said like the movie title is Fear, and it appears in the opening credits. And then at the last act of the movie, one of the girls escapes, and there was this one friend that was like, "I gotta go," but then the news TV thing that was haunted and possessed said like, "No, it's airborne." It wasn't airborne, and she got no signal, and so she started getting text messages from the girl who left, and it's like, "I'm fine. It's not real. The news is fake. Hey, you guys got to get out of that hotel like right now. There's like some weird, sketchy witchcraft stuff that's happening." And then the movie, apparently, it probably had an alternate title because at the end of it, it said "Don't fear," and just parts like that. It's just lazy. So this is one of the worst horror movies. It is already the number one worst movie of 2022 because of just how offensive it is to the horror genre. And I just don't think that this movie is really that good. Number 5 is Shotgun Wedding. This is an Amazon Prime exclusive, and essentially what it is, it's a rom-com with Josh Duhamel, Jennifer Lopez, and Jennifer Coolidge from The White Lotus. And it's about this wedding that gets hijacked by these bunch of pirates, and it's a very, you know, mess. The comedy, there's not really that much comedy in the movie, and if it does happen, it happens towards the latter act of the film. It's an action, it has really weird action, like really off action, like edited weird, like CGI. Like this is a Prime exclusive movie, and you get that, you expect like, okay, this movie was made for streaming because of the CGI green screen background of an island. But to me, the reason why this is so low on the list and why I just don't like this movie that much is because it's just this movie we've seen it before. Like rom-com goes wrong or wedding goes wrong, action rom-com with two unlikely heroes. You can see the twists coming. Like I knew from the moment I saw this one particular character, which I won't spoil, I was like, there's probably something off with that guy. And also it's a very shortly paced movie. It's like an hour and 40 minutes. And it's just not a funny movie. The action's not that well. The characters, you don't care about them, but the performances are fine. Like Jennifer Lopez and Jennifer Coolidge are like the main standouts. Josh Duhamel to me is not a comedy guy. I don't think he can tell a joke or say a joke that's being given to him. And so just like for me, it just didn't work out. I do like Josh Duhamel, just didn't like him in this movie. And then there's this whole weird other twist thing that happens with another character that just comes out of nowhere, and it's just like, why? And so it's a stupid movie made to get like, streamer viewership or whatever on Prime Video, which by the way, Wilds had to do it. I had to do it. I'm gonna bring it up every stream. Number 4 is House Party. This is again the film I said I saw the trailer for Fear in, and this is an HBO. This was originally an HBO Max exclusive that came out in summer of 2022, and then they postponed it because they thought, okay, maybe this movie can be good in theaters. And essentially, what it is, it's a remake of the original House Party, which I didn't even know this was a remake. And this movie feels like a streaming film. Like I could have waited to watch it on HBO Max, which is apparently what they're gonna stream it on because it's Warner Brothers. But it's pretty much about these two guys that get fired from their job, and they're about to lose money, and so they throw this house party in LeBron James's house, which they don't know it, but they're in LeBron James' house and he's on vacation. And so they throw this house party. Obviously, things are going to go haywire. There's a lot of cameos, but it's just not a funny movie. And I don't think it's just me, but I don't my type the type of humor that's told in this movie, it's very like different humor than my opinion, but the real problem here is that it's unnecessary. Like who was asking for a LeBron James produced remake of a film about house parties? Nobody. And when you watch the film, you're like, this is a movie that I could see streaming. Doesn't need to be in theaters, but whatever. And so, like, I understand why they wanted to go in theaters because of like, oh, LeBron James is in this. Oh, that guy's in it. Oh, that guy. It's like cameos, but at the same time, it was boring. It just drives too much. The writing is not that good. I did appreciate the cameos and I did appreciate, what they were trying to do, but overall it was a meh movie. It was a mixed opportunity. It's just kind of like a slightly below average film, so don't really have anything else to say. Number 3 is Megan. This is the one I was saying like, oh, all the people probably have seen it. Now, Megan is this movie where essentially what you have is you have this talking doll that is created by this toy company. And there's so the story is also like this girl loses her parents and the mother's sister takes care of it and they don't get really along. She's got a lot of collectibles and projects to work on and work and stuff, and she can't really just know how to look after her child. And so also in this movie, then, they try to build a connection with the doll and Megan, or with the doll and apparently the girl's name is Katie. And essentially, what you have is this friendship movie that turns into like it's a killer doll film. And when I saw the trailer for this movie, I thought that looks like the worst movie I have seen ever. Apparently, the movie got a 94% on Rotten Tomatoes. And so I don't know. Maybe people are liking this movie. Maybe I'll love it. And there's there's half of it. The half that worked for me is Allison Williams. She is really good. And I never noticed this. She's actually really attractive. But she plays this role really well. And I feel like she's really good in the movie. She got a lot of charisma. She cares for this role when she read the script. She also produced the movie as well. So she she really cared about this project. Also, I like the idea of the story. This girl, finding out, not really enjoying life after her parents died. She's really sad and depressed. And then all of a sudden, this doll comes in her life and she's all of a sudden a different person. She's happy. And I also like the Megan doll, whoever portrayed the actor. She did a really good job of being like creepy in her movements. Apparently, it was like a face, but then there's a voice for the girl. I thought the voice was really creepy. I thought the performances were really well. And I thought, the creepiness was there, but it's PG-13. And that's what kills it for me. It's a PG-13 doll movie. And look, say what you want about Child's Play, the remake of Child's Play. The reason why that movie worked in a way is because, yeah, it wasn't a great remake, but at least it was an R-rated film and it was gory and you can kind of have a good time with it. So whereas this movie, it's like playing it safe. It's like very, oh, we can't show, the doll killing somebody with with a printer shredder thing, like one of those like you pulled it down, you cut the paper or the random printer thing. We can't show that because we want to drive as many TikTok female, or kids as possible. So we got to keep it PG-13. And I don't think that the movie really worked like that. I think that they really overdid it. Also, the kid was just annoying. And I don't know if this is just like the direction that the director decided to do, but It's just like it's not she wasn't good in the movie. She got on my nerves. But the real problem is that it's just not to me, it wasn't that scary. You can see the jump scares coming from a mile away. It's like, oh, the camera does the thing where it's like it ponders on one image and then it's just like, oh, it's gonna let me see. Yeah. And it wasn't a very creepy movie as well. It wasn't as creepy, like Chucky, like is a smaller doll and like, like has the doll is possessed by like this serial killer in the original film. And it's small. So it's like, you don't know where it is. But with this movie, you can see everything coming from a mile away. They introduced this weird thing that happens in the beginning of the film, and I'm like, okay, they're going to use that at the end. It's like, and so the concept and the ideas of Megan work for me. And over time, I thought, this movie, because when I first saw it, I really didn't like the movie, but over time, I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more. But still, it's not a good movie in my opinion. I give it a C. If I were to tell you my grades with these movies, I'd say Fear is an F by far. Shotgun Wedding's a D plus. House Party's a C minus, and then Maiden's a C. So there's parts of Maiden that I do think work, but it's held back. And there's a sequel coming out in 2 years, so yay for that. Number two is Plane. This is a Gerard Butler film that I also again saw the trailer and I thought that looks like a generic action movie. And then I heard reviews coming out, it's actually pretty good. I'm like, wait, you mean Plane is actually a pretty good film? It is. Like this movie for me was really fun. It was an enjoyable film. It was a very tightly paced film. It was very nice and standard. And also what I really enjoyed about it is like Gerard Butler knows how to do this. Like he knows how to make a good action movie. And so there's like parts of this film where you're like, "Oh, he can do that." So obviously there's going to be some people that are like, "Well, it's a movie you've seen before, the CGI is and it's a low budget film and it's you can see it's like this felt like 90s action movie type film." And I've heard people talk about, like online, it feels like a 90s action movie. And it is a 90s action movie, it feels like, you got one star in the film. And so I really enjoyed that. Yeah, it's very cliched, like the villain is very stereotypical villain, you know. The editing, the special effects are not that good actually in this movie. You can see the blood, like and the plain CGI, it's noticeable, but I'm not expecting much. I'm going in to have a good time, and I got that from Plane. So, Plane, I gave it a B, and I respected that. I really do. I think this is a this is a fun movie. So, Plane's not the best. What is the best? Well, it's a movie called Missing. This is the best movie of the year for me right now. It's the best movie that I have seen in January. I did this one an A minus two, and I'm explaining why. So the concept of Missing is about this girl, and the movie's entirely on Facebook. Like the movies were entirely on like a computer screen, like right now, like on this computer screen. And so this film is pretty much like it's all the editing in this movie is amazing, by the way. Some of the best editing for a film I have seen ever. And so the movie is pretty much about this I don't care, my phone's dead. Um it's about this girl who has a mother and there's a past with what happens later on with her family. And so she's having fun and her mother goes on this trip to Cancun, I think. I don't know where it was, Spain. I don't know. And so she goes to pick up her mother and she goes missing. And so throughout the entirety of the film, you're looking through this computer screen on this girl trying to find where her mother is. And this is the type of mystery movie that works. like you're invested. You want to know how the film ends. You want to know the mystery. You want to keep your the edge on your seat because you want this girl to succeed. And so like the movie worked. Like the movie actually worked. And I thought when I saw the trailer, I thought it was like a fun film. And I love this movie. Like it's a really good film. The acting is incredible from Storm Reed. Um, the editing, like I said, is a great. The mystery and the suspense is good. The writing is nice. And, this is a movie that's made for like low budget. It was made for like $7 million, and it did really well. It's doing really well right now, and so like this is a movie that's out in theaters. It's probably not going to be for long. I don't know if a lot of people are still seeing it right now. If you have Netflix, it's probably going to stream later on in 2023. I don't know when, but yeah, it's a really really good movie. I recommend people watch it. It's a good fun film. So there you go. So from last to best, Fear, Shotgun Wedding, House Party, Megan, Plane, uh, Missing. And so with that down, let's move on to the next topic, and that is this. 2023 has some incredible films to look forward to. We are only 1 week away from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, which is the first big Hollywood tentpole, and then more to come as we go. And so today, I'm going to be telling you guys what my opinion are some of the movies to look forward to, and probably the most anticipated films, in my opinion, from the worst, or no, not from the worst to the best, but the most anticipated movies to look forward to in 2023. Now, just as a closure, this is a personal list that I made. This is in no like not like the everybody's most anticipated films. Maybe some people aren't looking forward to some of these movies, and that's fact. But I'm looking forward to some of these other movies, and I think they have a shot of really doing well. So, with that said, let's get into the list. There's a lot of movies I want to talk about. Some movies that you're probably going to be surprised are not on the list. Um, Starting out with every Marvel movie that's coming out, fortunately didn't make the list. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, The Marvels, those movies, really excited for, just gonna make the list. Next up, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, and Aquaman 2. Again, DC, you know, they're doing their best. They're trying to keep the pace up from the new version of the DCU. It's a lot. It's crazy. So they're gonna have to keep it in there. Then next up we have Scream 6. Again, I really enjoyed the last Scream movie, so I'm really excited for this one. Creed 3, of course. Creed 3 is a really one that I'm really excited for the most. Then you have The Mother, which is a Netflix movie starring Jennifer Lopez, an action movie. It's just like a Netflix movies, obviously. Fast X, I can expect that. Then we got what else? The Flash, excited. Pixar's Elemental. I'm really excited for that one as well. Um, you know, what else is there that we have? I'll say it, Barbie. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go. It's for the boys. It's the boy. It's a boys movie. It's a boys movie. Come on, it's a boys movie. Um, any movies in August? Not a lot of really movies in August. Equalizer 3, The Nun 2, A Haunting in Venice. All these movies coming out. Craven. Maybe I can care less about Craven, honestly. Saw X, Saw 10. Really excited for that movie. Rebel Moon is another movie that I'm really excited for. Extraction 2. Rebel Moon is a Zack Snyder movie. That's his version of Star Wars that's coming out in December. Extraction 2, a sequel to one of my favorite Netflix movies, Extraction. And look, I'm gonna piss some people off if they're massive fans of this, especially from my high school. I had a lot of girls that were obsessed with this franchise, but Hunger Games, Mockingjay, or Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbird and Snakes. Okay, you got me. And then finally Wonka. So those are all the movies that I'm excited for, that are not making the list. And now here are the movies that I'm actually excited for that did make the list. And you might be surprised on how I ordered them. So let's get started. Number 10. Oh, and I forgot one more movie that I forgot to mention is Insidious, Turn Off Fear of the Dark, and Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Two movies I'm really excited for. Just couldn't make the list. So here's the actual top 10 list. Number 10 is a movie that probably everybody's going to have at the like top three, top two, or maybe even number one. But there's a lot of movies I'm more excited for than this movie, and it's Spider-Man into Across the Spider-Verse. You know, obviously with the success of the first Spider-Man Spider-Verse movie, I really enjoyed the first Spider-Verse movie. It was one of my favorites of that year. And seeing a sequel is really good. It was supposed to come out in April 2022, then it was pushed to October 2022, and then it got moved to June 2023. So I'm really excited. I have a lot of hopes for this movie. I don't know how much money it's going to make, but with the success of Spider-Man No Way Home, I'm not surprised that this movie does really well in the box office. You got new characters coming in, maybe some cameos. Can't wait to see this movie. Number 9 is Dune Part 2. I really enjoyed the first Dune. Like if I didn't know this existed, I would tell you guys like Dune is amazing. And so like like the feeling of watching this movie, watching that movie on the big screen was amazing because I want to watch it on no small screen. I want to watch it on I want to watch it on an IMAX screen. And so, everything that we've heard about part 2, it's coming out November 3rd. I'm really pumped for it. It's apparently the sequel. It's the ending part of it, which I think this movie's gonna make a lot of money because it's something that a lot of people are excited for, and I'm hoping that fans of the first one really connect with the second one. It's Denis Villeneuve. He can do no wrong. I've been liking him now ever since he did Dune Part One. So there's that. Number 8. Now this is a movie I didn't actually know. I actually didn't know this movie was coming out in 2022. I actually had no idea this movie was actually being released in 2022 until I saw the trailer during the NFC Championship game or the AFC Championship game. It was when the Eagles were playing. So I think it's AFC. I don't care. NFC, whatever. But I saw like a minute teaser and then I saw the actual trailer. And I said to myself, this actually is going to be on the list because I'm really excited for this. And this is a film called The Boogeyman. This is a Stephen King movie. It's from Stephen King and it's being written by the guys who made A Quiet Place. So it's being written by those people. And with the star power, with the talent of Stephen King, the trailer looks really creepy. It looks really scary. And apparently this is a movie that was supposed to come out on Hulu, but apparently positive test screen reactions, it's dropping in theaters, which I'm happy. It could have done it for Prey or maybe even hell. What is it? The Hellraiser movie, but I don't know. You can't win them all. So this just jumped on the list. I'm really excited for the Boogeyman. Number 7 is another movie. It's another horror movie that I wasn't really looking forward to, and then I saw the trailer for it, and I thought, you know what, this could be really, really good. And it's Evil Dead Rise. Listen, I'm not I'm not saying this movie is going to be good, but apparently this was an HBO Max original, and then it got pushed to theaters. And the trailer is incredible. It's one of the best horror trailers I have seen, and it's very bloody, it's very gory, it's very creepy, and it's being produced by Bruce Campbell. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this new Evil Dead movie. Am I going to be scarred for life because of the cheese grater scene in the trailer? Probably, but it's a movie, but it's going to scare me. Number 6. Um, this is a movie I know a lot of people are really excited, are a little bit nervous of. But look, I can't deny it. Mario Bros. Super Mario Bros. In number 6. I really do. I understand the need to hate the movie because Chris Pratt's not Italian. He can't voice Mario. Why can't you just get the guy who's actually voiced Mario originally to do this? Because I feel like it wouldn't work. I don't know if it can work, but the guy's gonna be in the movie for some cameos. So there you go. The animation looks incredible. It is honestly, this is my most anticipated animated movie because of how much the time they took to put this movie in, and it's being released in IMAX, which is even better. An animated movie should get the IMAX treatment because it's so good to look at. And I'm excited for the voice cast. A lot of nostalgic beats are hitting with people and with me. So I'm really excited. I'm also nervous. Obviously, the movie's going to be good. I think this has a possibility to hit $1 billion. Just saying, it might hit $1 billion. Number 5 is John Wick Chapter 4. John Wick Chapter 4. Look, John Wick has been one of the most surprising action franchises of all time. It was a movie that was made and that made a little bit of money, and then more money came out with the sequel, and even more money came out with the third movie. And everybody's now talking about John Wick Chapter 4, the new action movie franchise. And they have been on a roll. They have not missed a beat at all. And I don't think they're going to miss a beat with this one. This looks like it's the John Wick 3 and 2 combined. I really enjoy these movies. They're some of the best action movies I've seen. Can't wait to see. The cast is stacked. You got Mr. Krabs in here, Clancy Brown, Lawrence Fishburne. You got Donnie Yen, Hiroyuki Sanada, two legends. And then you got Bill Skarsgård. Pennywise is in this movie. I mean, this is a great cast, great director. I'm excited to see it. A movie that's even bigger cast and a known director is number 4, and that's Oppenheimer. Whenever Christopher Nolan does a movie, you get excited. Much like Jordan Peele, you get excited for a new movie because it's going to be creepy, it's going to be weird, and you're ready for this. You're ready for that. So, like, to me, I see the trailer for this film and I'm like, this is a very different film. This is, it's almost like a biopic. This is Nolan's first biopic, and this is the first movie to be shot on IMAX 70 millimeter with black and white. So, like, the movie is going to be shown in black and white with IMAX 70 millimeter ratio, like the 1.43 ratio. And so, and he also was able to detonate a nuclear bomb with CGI. I mean, if Nolan did this movie, and he said all that, like, yeah, that's true. This must be one of the best. I really enjoyed Tenet. I love Tenet, that came out in 2020. That's one of the more underrated Nolan films, in my opinion. It's a great film. You should definitely check it out. And so I have a lot of faith in Nolan. Can't wait to go see this movie in the city. AMC Lincoln Square 70 millimeter IMAX, which is the best way to do it, in my opinion. All right, top 3. These are, to me, my top 3 most anticipated, and it's personal in a way, but my number 1 is pretty clear. If you saw my stream last week. All right, so number 3. Listen, I'll tell you the one. I hated the Disney Pinocchio movie. I hated it. I thought it was awful. And so, like, I don't have a lot of nostalgia for Pinocchio. But I'm not going to dupe myself with this one. The Little Mermaid. Yeah, I did it. I did it. I put The Little Mermaid in my top 3 most anticipated movies of 2023. And I'll tell you why I put it in here. First of all, you have an experienced director with Disney live action. He's made some pretty decent films. Number 2, you also have a great cast. And number 3, the trailer was beautiful. It's going to make $1 billion because this is something that people know. They remember the songs. This is a very classic Disney tale. And look, this movie's going to make a lot of money. It's going to make a lot of money. Do not underestimate The Little Mermaid. Like, people who don't watch a lot of movies, they are like, oh, there's a Little Mermaid coming out. And I don't care about, like, oh, they race swapped the woman. I don't care. Haley Bailey is amazing. She's so far singing the right notes, and she looks like Ariel. Well, that's not a race joke. That's not a race joke. It's not a joke at all. But, like, come on. It doesn't have to look like it. It's a live action remake. People are going to complain like, "Oh, this is not my Ariel." No, it's not the child that's complaining. It's you, because you don't like a certain agenda. Whatever. Those people are stupid. They can, do whatever. But Little Mermaid, look, I gotta tell you, man, I saw the trailer when I saw Black Panther, Wakanda Forever in IMAX, and I gotta tell you, it looks amazing. I'm really excited. Number two, and this might just be me. I'm a junkie. I'm a junkie for this. Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Listen, I'll tell you, I really thought this. I thought this movie was going to be number one. I'm a really big fan of the Transformers. I'll be honest with you. I'll totally be honest with you. I love the Transformer movies, except for the last one, The Last Night. Bumblebee was one of my favorite movies of 2018. I will always remember me and my dad watch the movies all the time, when we want to. It's a fun experience. And it's just like I like the direction they're going with this one. Um this movie will make a lot of money. Don't underestimate it. Like foreign box office, it's gonna make a lot of money because it's Transformers. It's got to get a China release, otherwise there might be problems. It might get a China release. Also, it's being directed by uh, Creed 2 director Stephen Caple Jr. And I feel like I have confidence with him. Um, I thought the trailer is looked amazing and beautiful. It's awesome to see the Beast Wars on screen. I'm excited, and this is the first of three new films. I'm all in for these movies. Give me more. Give me a trailer. And then number one, the movie I think I'm excited for the most this year, and not because I'm riding on the Tom Cruise bandwagon, but Mission Impossible: Dead Reckoning Part One is my most anticipated. I'm being dead serious. Top Gun Maverick was my favorite movie of 2023. And I have no shame in not putting a Marvel movie or a DC film on my list because there are lots of other movies that are not superhero based properties that I'm looking forward to more than Marvel and DC. I really am. Tom Cruise, this is one of the most, and I saw like a 8-10 minute preview in IMAX when I went to see Avatar of him doing this amazing stunt off a cliff with a motorbike. Like this is real stunts, obviously CGI, but the thing that scares me the most is what they're going to do for the part 2. So, obviously there's a lot of precautions, but this movie looks incredible. It really does. You can't Tom Cruise is a nut job, but the movies he makes are amazing. The Mission Impossible franchise has been on a hit since Ghost Protocol. I loved Fallout. So, you put that on top of the fact that Top Gun Maverick became one of the biggest movies of last year, and it was my favorite movie, got all these Oscars, you know, talking about the possibilities of Mission Impossible doing the same thing. This is a great sign for Tom Cruise. I would not be surprised if this happens. If that movie makes $1 billion, because the Tom Cruise bandwagon is still happening. Still happening. Listen, don't underestimate this guy because of the fact that the budget of this movie is like almost $300 million. But look, don't underestimate it. COVID, he wanted to put this movie in the theater, made for theaters, and he's going to do it. And so that is my top 10 most anticipated movies of 2022. Number 10 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Number 9, Doom Part 2. Number 8, The Boogeyman. Number 7, Evil Dead Rise. Number 6, Super Mario Bros. Number 5, John Wick Chapter 4. Number 4, Oppenheimer. Number 3, The Little Mermaid. Number 2, Transformers Rise of the Beasts. And number 1, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Chapter 4, point 6, page 92, subtext 148269, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. So there you have it. Those are my most anticipated movies and the best and worst of January 2023. And that's going to do it for the stream. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For the people who did, tune in next weekend when I will give you guys the reviews of some new movies that come out. I will be seeing 3 movies. I'm gonna watch one tonight. Maybe give you 5 if I want to. But yeah, there you guys have it. So those are the reviews. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This is the Western Star Movie Reviewer signing off. No Dales. Yeah.